Hi everyone, welcome to the third webinar out of a series of webinars conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming strategic case study examinations happening in February 2023. My name is Nick and I'm the lead tutor and evaluator for SCS at TCS. So let's look at what we are going to cover in tonight's session. I'm going to take you through the examiner's comments in the first part of tonight's webinar because it's of utmost importance that you understand the mindset as well as the requirements of the examiner. Then you are in a position to satisfy the examiner. And, um, in such a context, you can easily pass the SCS exam because, as I've told you earlier, out of the three case studies, the easiest is the strategic case study. So if you can come up with recommendations which are practical and which are totally relevant to Hottayr, the company on which the pre-scene is based on, then you can easily pass the exam. So let's try to identify the psyche of the examiner. And on top of that, in the second part, I'll be talking about how you can develop confidence. And because as per the CIMA examiner, students who have a positive attitude of students who are confident about the exam end up passing it comfortably, especially when it comes to the strategic level. Okay, so let's try to figure out what you need to do to develop confidence before the exam as well as to maintain the same level of positivity at your real exam. Okay, so we've had two webinars so far. So out of these two webinars, I hope you would have checked out the second webinar particularly. If you missed out on attending the live sessions, I request you to, visit our website and check out the second webinar, especially because that's where I'm covering answering technique. I've suggested what you need to do when it comes to structuring your answer, because there's absolutely no point of right after reading the question trying to type your entire answer. Instead, you need to spend a considerable amount of time to develop something called an answer plan. And if you do, then the quality of your answer will improve significantly. And on top of that, you will be in a position to manage your time appropriately. Most students run out of time at the exam, so you can avoid it if you stick to our answer planning technique. So I hope you attended the live webinar. If not, the recorded version can be found under the free content via our website. And in tonight's session, I'll be talking about what you need to do when it comes to preparing for your exam. All right, some more people are logging in. All right, so before we get into tonight's nitty-gritties, let me also highlight about the 6-week study plan which we have provided. We are in week number, we are about to start week number 4. So I hope that by this time you would have gone through the annotated pre-scene which we have provided. And on top of that, I hope you have done or covered the pre-scene analysis videos. You have watched all 4 videos by now. And it's high time you start attempting mocks. Out of all the students who had invested on our products, only one student had submitted the third mock as per the study plan. So even if you're even if you're yet to attempt a mock, it's high time you do it, because if not, you won't have enough time to attempt all 5 mocks before your exam. It's of utmost importance that you attempt mock exams, and when attempting these mock exams, you need to practice the answer planning technique, because you can't simply replicate the answer planning technique at your exam without practicing it. So we have developed 5 mocks covering all syllabus areas which can be tested at your exam. We have covered all scenarios which can be tested as well. So if you attempt these 5 mocks, you'd be developing 15 answer plans. So that's enough and more practice for you to adhere to the same type of answer planning technique at your real exam. And that's going to save up a lot of time for you. And on top of that, the quality of your answers will significantly improve. So in week number 4, you are supposed to attempt mock number 4 under simulated exam conditions. So when attempting your mock, do it via our exam platform. which is developed akin to the Pearson VUE system. And in 48 hours, you will receive feedback, tutor feedback from us. And based on that feedback, you'd be in a position to figure out where you had gone wrong. So let me, quickly take you through the type of feedback which we provide. So as you can see, for each and every paragraph or each and every point mentioned, we have provided tutor feedback, and at the very end, extensive feedback has been provided. And at the very end, mark allocations are provided. So as you can see, this student had only scored 39 marks. And, by looking at this scorecard, you'd be in a position to figure out where you stand as a student on a subtask by subtask basis. So as you can see, the student had only excelled in the first subtask 1A, but in all the other areas, the students have not achieved the threshold of 54%. That's a good way to measure whether your answer for each subtask is in par with the pass mark. So if your success rate is above 54% for each and every subtask, then on average you can feel you can say, or you can see whether you have gotten the threshold for each and every subtask. Okay, so based on it, you can easily determine where you stand, and general comments are also provided so that you are in a position to further improve the quality of your answers. So that's the type of tutor feedback you'd get. So you'd know 2 days later, you'd know where you stand, and you are supposed to watch the video lecture or the master class on mock number 4, where I've explained. I'm explaining the answers of mock number 4, and whilst explaining the answers, I'm teaching theory as well as I'm highlighting how to gain marks for application as well. So I hope you'd stick to these guidelines in the upcoming week. And remember that your exam entry closes on Tuesday. So in another 2 days time, your exam entry is going to close. So if you are to book your exam, it's high time you do it right now. If you have to sit your exam in Feb, then you need to do it before Tuesday. So that's a reminder. And the same methodology or a same system needs to be stuck to with regards to what you're supposed to do in the upcoming weeks. And in week number 6, which starts from the 19th of Feb, I want you guys to relax. I'm not expecting you guys to attempt mock exams. It all depends on how disciplined you are right now. If you finish off attempting mocks right now, then you can relax closer to the exam, because relaxed students end up passing the exam comfortably. As you can see, in the lead up to the exam, from the 19th of February, you are simply supposed to refer to the financial analysis, industry analysis, and top 20 issue slides. Refer to the answer plans of all 5 mocks. As I've highlighted earlier, we have developed answer plans for mocks 3, 4, and 5. So you need not do anything there. You are only supposed to develop answer plans for mocks 1 and 2. Why are we asking you guys to do it? So that you practice answer planning technique, so that you get your bearings. All right. So once you have it, have all these answer plans, it's just a matter of spending something like 2 hours to go through all the mocks. So it's as if you are going through the answers of all 5 mocks. It's as if you are revising all 5 mocks, and it makes your life extremely easy, especially closer to the exam. And read the annotated pre-scene one last time to brush up your knowledge in these areas. And we have provided 4 TikTok videos as well, covering the entire pre-scene. So keep watching these TikTok videos. We have covered the entire pre-scene within 7 to 9 minutes. So on a daily basis, you can keep reminding yourself about the most important points, especially given that you are playing the role of a senior finance manager. So whenever you are making a recommendation, you need to refer it to the company, relate it to the company, relate it to the scenario. So in order to do that, you need to understand your pre-scene properly. So keep watching these TikTok videos on a daily basis. All these things are provided free of charge. And watch the recorded version of this webinar closer to the exam, because then you can remind yourself again about what you're supposed to achieve, how you're supposed to adhere to the guidelines provided by the examiner, and on top of that, you'll it will act as something which motivates you closer to the exam. And stop all work a day prior to the exam. Sleep, eat, and rest well, because a relaxed student ends up passing the exam. Take it from me, when I was doing CIMA, especially closer to the latter parts of CIMA studies, I used to relax a lot, and I comfortably passed all my exams. Yeah, so it's better to have a relaxed mindset rather than being stressed closer to the exam. You'd stand out from all the other students. So that's what we're supposed to do in the upcoming weeks. So let's try to figure out what the examiner tells us, and how we can satisfy the examiner. Good answers require relevance to the requirement. So there's a scenario provided in your exam, and as per the scenario provided, certain requirements are highlighted. So that is where answer planning comes in. So if you stick to our answer planning technique, then after developing the answer plan, you can always refer back to the requirement and see whether you have fulfilled the requirement fully, whether you are headed in the correct direction or not. So rather than typing the answer straight away, right after reading the scenario or the question, rather than typing the fully fledged answer straight away, spend some time to develop an answer plan. And after you have the answer structure, you can easily refer back to the requirement and see whether you have fulfilled the requirements highlighted in the task. Okay, and it's necessary to display to the examiner that you have technical knowledge. Okay, so technical knowledge is not really tested at the SCS level. However, 20% of theoretical knowledge comes into your paper. So you are supposed to provide recommendations. When providing recommendations, you need to do it in the most practical manner. However, let's assume there's a question on corporate governance. If you do not know the corporate governance guidelines, and if you do not know whether Hottayr's board adheres to CG guidelines or corporate governance guidelines, you can't provide an accurate answer. So if there's a question on corporate governance, you need to know the theoretical elements of corporate governance. So that's the technical knowledge coming into play. So if you watch if you attempt our 5 mock exams, as well as if you watch the master classes on mocks 3, 4, and 5, you would learn theory in a concise yet in an extremely understandable manner. So you need to display technical knowledge, and just knowing theory won't help you. Just knowing what corporate governance is and what the corporate governance guidelines won't help you. You need to apply that knowledge to the company as well as to the scenario. Okay, so you need to understand the information provided in the scenario, because if there's a sticking to the same example, if there's a question on corporate governance in the scenario, the examiner will provide certain issues or positivities. Okay, positive aspects pertaining to corporate governance within the company, or there could be an issue which is highlighted. So you need to have the capability to understand the issue and highlight it within your answer. Okay, so that's where application comes in. And on top of that, sticking to the same example, you need to understand the information provided in the pre-scene about corporate governance within Hottayr. Okay, and if there is some type of a shortcoming with regards to corporate governance, you need to highlight it within your answer. So again, you gain marks for application. So you need to relate to the pre-scene or the information provided in the pre-scene. And on top of that, you need to relate to the information provided in the scenario. That's how you earn marks for application. So 2 aspects are there. You need to relate to the scenario as well as you need to relate to the pre-scene. So how can you easily do this? By going through the answer plans which we have provided, as well as going through the suggested answers. Then you'd know how information is supposed to be brought in to your answer, information which comes from the pre-scene as well as the scenario or the question. So you need to fulfill these 2 things: display technical knowledge, as well as have the capability to apply that knowledge And if so, you'd come up with an answer which is relevant to the requirement which is highlighted in the question. And you need to provide well-structured answers. So this is not me who is saying this. This is the examiner, CIMA examiner telling you. So in order to develop well-structured answers, stick to the answer planning technique which we have developed or which we have suggested or taught in the last webinar. Okay, so if you stick to the answer planning technique, you will come up with well-structured answers. You are spending 30 minutes to develop the answer plan. So you'd be thinking it through. Okay, you'd be spending some time to think. So that's what you're supposed to do as a senior finance manager. You need to, before coming up with recommendations, you need to spend some time to think and see whether it's practical and whether it's relevant to the company. And when providing answers, you are supposed to use paragraphs. Again, these things were highlighted within the second webinar. If you, according to the, marks allocated per subtask, if you're supposed to come up with 9 answer points, then you need to have 9 paragraphs within your answer. Okay, why am I suggesting this? Although I've taught you this, when I give feedback, what I've seen is students do not stick to this. Within a single paragraph, I've seen students providing 2 or 3 valid points. Okay, so rather than doing that, rather than trying to create or rather than creating a negative attitude in the mind of the invigilator, it's better to stick to paragraphs. So on a paragraph basis, the invigilator can easily allocate marks. Okay, so it's better to be in the good books of the invigilator, because then you can easily pass the exam. So use paragraphs, don't use bullet points or single line sentences. Okay, so that's that. And whenever you are bringing an argument, you need to justify your argument. Okay, so especially this is of utmost concern, given that you are playing the role of a senior finance manager. You are directly reporting to board members, you are directly reporting to the CFO of the company. So you are supposed to provide recommendations, and you are supposed to provide or develop strategies. So whenever you are doing this, you need to justify your position, or else you won't get marks. Okay, so that's that. Then let's try to figure out what you need to do before the exam. As per the CIMA examiner, you are supposed to study all areas of the syllabus. So I said theoretical elements are tested up to a certain extent. So you need to know the entire syllabus. We've made your life easier. What we have done is we have developed 9 master classes. So if you watch these 9 master classes or the recorded versions or the videos, then you would learn theory as well as application. And on top of that, we have developed answer plans for you. Through the answer plans, you can learn theory. And we have provided you with revision cards pertaining to E3, P3, and F3 related syllabus content. So if you refer to these revision cards, you can easily brush up your knowledge in these areas. And before the exam, you need to, when developing your answers, you need to ensure that you apply to the scenario. This is what I highlighted previously as well. Okay, and before the exam, you are supposed to practice tasks. And when practicing tasks, you are supposed to type or write full answers. So what is a full answer? If you are attempting a mock exam, you are not supposed to adhere to a staggered approach. Instead, you need to sit in one place, allocate 3 hours, and do the entire paper in one go. Why am I asking you to do this? Because the CIMA examiner wants you to do it. And on top of that, if you adhere to this methodology or practice, then you'd find it easy to handle pressure at the real exam. Because at the real exam, you are supposed to sit in one place for 3 hours and attempt the entire paper in one go. So when practicing mocks, you need to do the same thing. I've seen students attempting mocks on a task by task basis. What I mean is certain students, what they do is they'll attempt task number 1 on Monday, task number 2 on Wednesday, and task number 3 on Friday. You should not adhere to a staggered approach like that. Instead, you need to find time and attempt a mock in one go. Okay, so that's that. So you need to attempt 5 mock exams, then you'd have enough tasks to practice. All right, that's that. And during the exam, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to plan your answers. Again, answer planning technique comes into the picture. So we have covered this area. If you are yet to figure out how to develop answer plans, please watch the recorded version of webinar number 2, which can be found via our website under the free content. And the marker is under strict instructions to mark answers on their merits. So the marker is not looking at the length of your answer. Instead, the marker is looking at quality. So that's exactly why I said you need to spend some time to develop answer plans. Then you will adhere to the required level of quality, because you're spending some time to think it through. And then you can easily gain marks. Just because you provide lengthy answers, you're not going to pass. Instead, marks are going to be allocated based on answer points. So if there are 7 answer points in your answer, then you need to have 7 paragraphs within the fully fledged answer. So let's after figuring out what the CIMA examiner tells us to do, then let's go through marking criteria. 2 markers will allocate marks before the final mark is finalized. Why are these guys doing it? To achieve the required level of transparency, so that students won't get staggered or scattered marks. Instead, there's a uniform way of achieving quality when it comes to marking. And mark allocation for each subtask appears as a percentage under each requirement. So I've highlighted this in the second webinar. So go check it out if you are yet to figure out what this means. And marks are allocated based on merit. So the examiner picks quality over quantity. All right. Any questions, folks? I'm a free user. Can I buy revision cards separately? Janaka, we usually do not do it, but what I can do is I can get back to you on it. I'll ask management about it. I hope you can share your email address on the chat, so that I can share it with admin. Any questions, folks? Janak, I hope I addressed your concern. Any questions so far? We have only covered the first part of tonight's webinar. Any questions? You're welcome, Janaka. If you have any questions, you can simply jot it down on the chat section. I'm more than happy to help you guys out. So in the meantime, let me talk about what we are offering. What TCS offers. A question came through, I guess. Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. This is our website. So go check out the sample material. Go check out the free content, actually, because we have provided the recorded versions of the 3 webinars. And there's a mini mock as well as a suggested answer. There's a document on answer planning technique as well. So you can learn from these things. And there's a free video out of the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. 1 has been uploaded under the free content. So go check these things out. And let me take you through the sample material which we provide. So this is the annotated pre-scene. This is what an annotated pre-scene looks like. So as you can see, the entire pre-scene is summarized in an understandable manner. And on top of that, based on the information provided in the pre-scene, if the examiner is throwing some hints at you, all these things are highlighted within these annotations. And if there are any syllabus areas tested, which can be tested based on the information provided within the pre-scene, they are highlighted as well. So if you go through the annotated pre-scene, you can easily figure out the important information which is provided within the pre-scene. Okay. And these are the industry analysis slides. Especially these industry analysis slides are important for students following SCS, because as a senior finance manager, you need to have an outside-in approach when providing recommendations. So when recommending strategies to your board members. So we have developed a set of slides which mention which carries only the most important points about your industry. All these information are provided based on real life industry dynamics. So by understanding how the real industry works, you can better understand the information provided within the pre-scene. You can better understand the industry dynamics, and at the very end, industry trends and whatnot. And at the very end, real world examples are provided based on two real life companies. All these things are done to make your life easier. And we have a set of financial analysis slides as well, so that you can easily understand or decrypt the financial statements provided within the pre-scene. So, horizontal analysis is conducted based on the financial statements. And on top of that, ratio analysis is conducted. Especially, you need to know what the ratios tell you about the financial performance of the company. Since you are playing the role of a senior finance manager, you need to know your numbers, you need to remember your numbers. So all these things, we've made your life easier. We've come up with content which will help you easily remember the content which appears within the financial statements. So let me talk about the courses which we provide at TCS. So first things first, it's the essential pack, which is priced at £99. If you're comfortable with 100% self-learning, and if you had aced your OTQ exams, if you're coming through the CIMA general route, and if you have gotten really good marks for E3, F3 and P3 exams, then you need not invest on anything else. You can simply opt for the essential pack. And under the essential pack, you get your hands on the recorded versions of the 4 webinars, the 5 mock exams with suggested answers. That's the most important product out of the services provided under the essential pack. And there are 4 pre-scene analysis videos. By watching after watching these videos, you are in a position to better understand the pre-scene. And we are providing the annotated pre-scene, industry analysis slides, financial analysis slides, top 20 likely issues, the case study familiarization kit. All these things come under the essential pack. And the second package is known as the value pack. And this is where we are providing one-to-one tutor support and mentoring. So if you feel that you're not too comfortable with self-learning, then you can opt for this package. So under the value pack, you would get your hands on all these material which we have mentioned. And on top of that, you would get access to the online mock exam platform. So when attempting your 5 mock exams, you can do it under real exam conditions via our exam platform. And on top of that, we are providing one-to-one tutor feedback and marking on 3 mocks, namely mocks 3, 4, and 5. So I took you through the type of feedback which we provide, so after, referring to the feedback doc, which we will share with you, you'd understand where you stand as a student. And on top of that, theory recaps of OTQ syllabus content pertinent to E3, P3, and F3 is provided as well under this package. And this is priced at £199. And if you're coming through an exemption route, you need to consider the plus packages, the essential plus as well as the value plus package, because why I'm asking you to invest on these packages, especially if you're coming through the exemption route, is most students coming through the FLP program, they lack theoretical knowledge pertaining to the CIMA syllabus. Okay, so there's only one way to fix this issue. That's to learn theory. So when learning theory, it's better to understand how theory is applied to a real life exam question, or how theory is applied to exam standard question or a mock exam. So that's why we have created these 2 packages, so that students would learn theory as well as application via just 9 videos. Okay, so that's what comes under the essential plus and the value plus packages. So under the essential plus package, you would gain your hands on all this material which we mentioned a while back. And on top of that, you would get your hands on the 9 master classes which we have conducted. And the Value Plus package comes with everything: tutor feedback, the ability to attempt mocks under our exam platform. So all these services provided under the Value Pack Plus the 9 master classes where you can easily understand or easily learn theory as well as improve your application skills. And if you had failed the previous session, I would urge you to go for the Value Plus package, because then you need tutor feedback as well as you need to learn via the 9 videos which we have provided. So you need to invest on the Value Plus package, especially if you are coming through the exemption route and if you had failed previously, and the price is £275. You can join our SCS WhatsApp group as well if you are not yet a part of it. Okay, so that's about what we offer. Then moving on to the second part of tonight's webinar, I'm going to talk about what you need to do when it comes to developing confidence before the exam. So stick to the study plan. If you have stuck to the study plan already, you should have completed up until mock number 3. So if not, there's absolutely nothing to worry. Try to attempt mock exams as soon as possible and stick to a routine. Try to wake up and sleep at a specific time. I do not want you guys to lose sleep closer to the exam, because because of stress, what happens is during the last week, students rarely sleep. They sleep only 2 or 3 hours a day. That's not going to help you. You won't feel positive when you lack sleep. So try to stick to a routine at least in the upcoming 3 weeks, and focus on getting your daily meal intake properly at an allocated time. Have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner at stipulated times, so that it's going to help you fall asleep and wake up in a routine manner as well. Okay, and when practicing mock exams, practice under simulated exam conditions. As I told you earlier, you need to allocate 3 hours of your time and sit in one place and attempt the entire mock in one go. And when doing it, it's better to use our mock exam platform so that you get yourself accustomed to real exam conditions and attempt mocks in isolation without any hindrances or disturbances. And stick to the exam technique routine, which we have highlighted in webinar number 2. So allocate 30 minutes to read the question and develop an answer plan based on it. And the remaining 30 minutes can be allocated or should be allocated towards typing the answer or expanding your answer plan. So if you do this, if you keep practicing these things, then it's easy for you to develop a positive mindset, because you would experience that you are saving a lot of time. You would experience that the quality of your answers are improving. So what other way to develop confidence? Okay, and how to maintain the same level of confidence on the day of the exam. So right on the day of the exam in the morning, try to, before the exam, rest your mind and body. So that's exactly why I am suggesting that you are supposed to take a break a day before your exam. So if your exam is on Tuesday, you need to stop all your work on Sunday, and Monday you are supposed to relax. Okay, and do not refer to any study material, mocks, or answer plans on the day of the exam. If your exam is at 9 a.m., you're not supposed to wake up and go through any of the study material, any answer plans. Forget about it, because you are playing the role of a senior finance manager. As a senior finance manager, you are involved with strategic planning. You are supposed to provide practical recommendations. So in order to provide practical recommendations, you need to be open-minded. Okay. If you are open-minded, then you think straight. So that's exactly why I do not want you guys to go through any mocks, because if you do, whenever there is a question, whenever you see a question, you'd try to relate to a mock exam which you have done previously. And the information provided within your requirement or within your scenario could be a bit different to the information which you saw within the mock exam. So don't go through any study material. Just focus on relaxing your mind and think on the day of the exam. Think that you are the senior finance manager at Hottayr, it's better to get into the shoes of a senior finance manager. Then you'd end up providing better answers. And it's pretty basic for you to feel tensed on the day of the exam, but try to let go of this negativity, because if you had done your homework, there's absolutely no point of worrying about how you're gonna attempt your exam. Okay, and try to be open-minded. And during the exam, what are you supposed to do? Don't try to do something new. Stick to the exam technique routine. So if you are to stick to the exam technique routine, you need to practice it. So when attempting mock exams, you have to keep on practicing practicing this exam technique routine. If you do, you can easily replicate or adhere to the same plan at your real exam. So 30 minutes should be allocated towards reading the question and developing an answer plan, and 30 minutes should be allocated towards expanding your answer plan. And if you feel stressed, it's pretty basic. It's normal for students to feel stressed when attempting the exam. Even if you have done your homework, that's pretty basic, because out of your 3 tasks, one of it is going to be hard. That's how competitive CIMA exams are. It's not an easy paper to pass. So out of the 3 tasks, let's assume the second task is hard, and you are not supposed to get hit by it, because if you do, then you are going to screw up your answer for task number 3 as well. So you have to let go of this negativity, or if you feel stressed, you have to let go of it. What are you supposed to do in order to let go of this negativity? First, drink some water. That's gonna help you calm your nerves. And close your eyes and breathe slowly for 2 minutes, because when you focus on breathing, there's this certain part of your brain called the amygdala, which kicks in when you are panicked. So if you're stressed at the exam, then that leads to panic. And you'd forget about the answer planning technique. You'd forget about the routines which you have stuck to, and you'll lessen your chances of passing the exam. Instead, try to close your eyes and breathe slowly. Focus on your breathing. Then the amygdala will switch off. Then again, rationality will kick in. So you won't get emotional unnecessarily. Instead, you'd become a rational individual again. And as a senior finance manager, you are supposed to come up with rational decisions. Okay. Remind yourself that you have done your homework. You can only do this if you had done your homework. So make sure to attempt the mock exams as soon as possible, and finish attempting mock exams. And remind yourself that you need just 80 marks to pass. There could be hard questions or hard tasks. You are not supposed to get 150 out of 150 marks. Instead, you are simply supposed to get 80 marks, which is 54%. So you can provide answers which are of inferior quality to with regards to 1 or 2 subtasks. That's not going to harm your mark. Instead, if you focus on the comfortable areas, you can easily pass the exam. And give your best shot, and always try to be open-minded during the exam as well. Try to be positive during the exam, and there's no way to feel positive than to do your homework before the exam. So start attempting mocks right now. Try to stick to our study plan, get your feedback on time, then you can easily pass the exam. And try to avoid deflections in the upcoming weeks, because some students go through this problem as well. Although we have provided a study plan, students think that they are not doing too much. Or the study plan is too basic, it's too easy. Because of that, they try to go through additional material, additional content. You're just going to waste your time. Don't panic. Instead, stick to the guidelines which we have provided. Stick to the activities highlighted within the study plan, then you can easily pass. Overemphasis on the exam blueprint is a killer. You need not do that, because all the important information highlighted within the exam blueprint is covered within this webinar. I took you through examiner's comments. That's what you need to know. All the other information, if you try to go through it, you would be wasting your time. And over reliance on predictions, you can't predict the type of questions or the type of scenarios which will be thrown at you at the exam. So we are not predicting anything at TCS. So don't focus on predictions. As a senior finance manager, you are supposed to the CIMA examiner is trying to replicate a real life corporate environment. In a real life corporate environment, you can't predict the type of problems the company is going to face. You are playing the role of a senior finance manager. You can't predict the problems faced by Hottayr. So don't focus on predictions. Okay. And excessive industry analysis is a killer. Just because you know about the industry, that's not going to help you pass. If you do not know your theory, if you do not know how to apply your knowledge, then you can't pass, even though you might be an expert about industry dynamics. So simply go through the industry analysis slides which were provided. That's all the information that this set of slides carry, all the information you need to have an in-depth understanding about your industry. And some students, what they do is, without investing on study material and mock exams which are relevant to the pre-scene, they would try to learn by going through the past variants or past exam papers. Remember, especially at the SCS level, I said theoretical knowledge is not tested too much. Instead, the examiner is looking at application as well as the quality of the recommendations or the practicality of the recommendations which you are providing. So if you are relying on past papers or past variants which are based on a totally different pre-scene, a totally different industry, a totally different company, then your chances of passing the exam is extremely low, because then you'd, after going through the suggested answers, you'd remember the information which is relevant to a totally different company. That's not going to help you at the exam. So don't rely on past papers. Instead, you have to invest on mock exams which are 100% relevant to your pre-scene. And information overload is a killer. That's exactly why we've provided a study plan. And if you stick to the study plan, you can easily cover all the exercises you need to do when it comes to preparing for your upcoming exam. So avoid all these deflections. Don't waste your time. So let me remind you about the pass rate, which we have achieved. We are proud to say that in November 2022, which was the previous session, we achieved a 97% pass rate. And out of almost all the students who invested on the Value Plus package, out of 11 students, 9 of them got marks in excess of 100. So your pass mark is supposed to be 80 out of 150, but 9 of our guys got marks above 100. So if you stick to our study plan and use our material, then you can easily pass your exam. And you might be attempting the exam at home. If that is the case, please go to this link and go through all the content thoroughly, because that contains all the nitty-gritties pertaining to your exam. So you need to know these things and try out the CIMA exam platform before the exam. So you are supposed to do it 2 or 3 days before the exam. Not if your exam is in the at 9 a.m., you are not supposed to do it on the day of the exam in the morning. Instead, try to do it 2 or 3 days before. All right, any questions, folks? I've highlighted what you need to do to develop confidence, and we have gone through and try to understand what the examiner expects out of you. Any questions, folks? You can raise any concerns. You might have started attempting mock exams. So if there are any issues you have faced, any bottlenecks, you can raise these concerns now. I'm happy to help. All right, so you can easily contact us via our website, which is www.study@tcs.com, or email us or drop us a message on our WhatsApp number, or call us on WhatsApp as well. And follow us on our social handles. Check out our blog, go to our website and check out the blog, so that you are in a position to understand the nitty-gritties pertaining to your exam. It's not loading for some reason. Okay, let's come back to it. Then check out our TikTok videos. As I've highlighted earlier, the entire pre-scene has been summarized within 9 minutes via our TikTok videos. So keep watching them on a daily basis to remind yourself about the important points appearing within the pre-scene. And yeah, these are the blog posts. So please go through them to understand the technical nitty-gritties pertaining to CIMA, especially if you're coming through an exemption route. So thanks, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. I wish you all the very best. I hope you'd finish off all your work way ahead in time. And I hope you'd do everything under your control to let go of unnecessary stress. I hope you'd walk into the exam hall as an open-minded individual. You'd feel confident both before the exam as well as you. Yeah, I hope you'd be in a position to maintain the same level of confidence. There could be, questions which are not too easy. There's absolutely nothing to worry. Just focus on the answer planning technique. Plan your answers properly, then your chances of passing the exam is extremely high. And if you are yet to invest on exam standard study material as well as exam standard mocks, it's high time you do it. If not, you'd find it extremely hard to pass the exam. So all the very best. I hope we were of help to you when uh, carrying out your preparations for your upcoming exam. See you and good night. You're welcome, guys.